Have you ever felt angry or upset with someone who wronged you? Have you ever wanted to get back at them or make them suffer? Have you ever wasted time thinking about how to hurt them? If so, you're not alone. We all have people in our lives who we see as enemies. They might be rivals, competitors, critics, or even friends or family members who have betrayed us. But what if there was a better way to handle these situations? What if you could learn to deal with your enemies in a way that doesn't involve fighting, violence, or aggression? The renowned Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius once imparted a timeless wisdom. The best revenge is not to be like your enemy. This profound insight delves deep into the heart of Stoic philosophy, unveiling layers of self-mastery, resilience, and virtue. Stoicism is a philosophy that can help you do just that. It teaches us that the only things we can really control are our own thoughts, opinions, and actions. Everything else is outside of our control and can change at any moment. So instead of focusing on things we can't control, we should focus on what we can control and accept the rest without getting upset. This doesn't mean being passive or indifferent. It means being active and rational, living according to our nature and according to reason. It gives us the power to face any challenge or obstacle with courage, wisdom, and dignity. Here are 7 ways that Stoicism can help you defeat your enemies without fighting, based on the teachings of the ancient Greek philosophers. Number 1. Ignore them. When it comes to managing conflicts without resorting to physical altercation, deliberate ignorance emerges as a potent and strategic approach. This tactic involves consciously disregarding the words, actions, and presence of your adversary. Instead of engaging with them or reacting to their provocations, you intentionally choose to minimize their significance in your life. By adopting deliberate ignorance, you effectively strip away the gratification that your adversary seeks through their attempts to provoke or harm you. By denying them the reaction they crave, you disrupt their power dynamic and diminish their ability to affect your emotional state. This can be particularly frustrating for them, as they realize that their efforts to incite a reaction have been futile. Furthermore, by focusing your attention on what truly matters to you, such as your personal goals, happiness, and well-being, you cultivate a sense of empowerment and inner peace. Ignoring your enemy allows you to redirect your energy towards constructive pursuits and positive endeavors, rather than being consumed by negativity or conflict. In essence, deliberate ignorance serves as a shield against the toxic influences of animosity and hostility. It enables you to maintain a positive outlook and a sense of clarity, even in the face of adversity. By refusing to engage with negativity, you pave the way for personal growth, resilience, and ultimately, a brighter future. Number 2. Outsmart them. Outsmarting your enemies requires a combination of intelligence, creativity, and strategic thinking. It involves anticipating their moves and countermoves, and positioning yourself as a master of the chessboard in the intricate dance of dismantling enmity. First and foremost, it's important to gather information about your enemy. Knowing their strengths, weaknesses, motivations, and tactics will give you a significant advantage in any conflict. This can be achieved through various means such as espionage, reconnaissance, or simply observing their behavior patterns. Once you have a good understanding of your enemy, you can begin to develop a strategy that plays to your strengths and exploits their weaknesses. This could involve leveraging your intelligence and creativity to come up with innovative solutions that catch them off guard. For example, you might devise a plan to outmaneuver them in a business deal or outsmart them in a debate. Another key aspect of outsmarting your enemies is to stay one step ahead of them. Anticipate their moves and be prepared to respond accordingly. This means thinking several steps ahead and having contingency plans in place for different scenarios. By doing so, you can turn the tables on your enemy and gain the upper hand. It's also essential to remain flexible and adaptable throughout the process. As the situation evolves, be willing to adjust your strategy and tactics to ensure that you stay ahead of the game. This might involve pivoting to a new approach or changing course entirely if necessary. Ultimately, the goal of outsmarting your enemies is to emerge victorious without resorting to unsavory tactics. By employing intelligent and creative strategies, you can achieve success without sacrificing your integrity or reputation. Remember, the art of war is not just about winning, but also about maintaining a sense of honor and dignity throughout the process. In conclusion, outsmarting your enemies requires a combination of intelligence, creativity, strategic thinking, and flexibility. By gathering information, developing a solid strategy, staying one step ahead, and remaining adaptable, you can navigate conflicts and emerge victorious without compromising your values. Number 3. Cultivate emotional resilience. In the journey of dealing with adversaries without resorting to physical conflict, cultivating emotional resilience emerges as a vital strategy. Emotional resilience refers to the ability to bounce back from setbacks, adapt to change, and cope with stress and adversity. By developing emotional resilience, you can maintain your composure and inner strength in the face of challenges posed by your enemies. To cultivate emotional resilience, start by practicing self-awareness. Pay attention to your thoughts, feelings, and reactions, and identify any patterns of negative thinking or behavior that may undermine your resilience. By recognizing and acknowledging your emotions, you can begin to work through them in a healthy and constructive manner. Next, focus on building positive coping strategies. This could involve techniques such as deep breathing, mindfulness meditation, or physical exercise, which can help to reduce stress and promote a sense of calm. Additionally, seek out social support from friends, family, or a therapist who can provide encouragement and guidance during difficult times. Another important aspect of emotional resilience is maintaining a positive outlook. Try to reframe negative situations as opportunities for growth and learning rather than insurmountable obstacles. By adopting a mindset of optimism and hope, you can cultivate resilience and perseverance in the face of adversity. Finally, remember to practice self-care and prioritize your well-being. Make time for activities that bring you joy and relaxation, whether it's spending time outdoors, pursuing a hobby, or simply enjoying a good book. Taking care of yourself physically, emotionally, and mentally will help to strengthen your resilience and ability to withstand the challenges posed by your enemies. In conclusion, cultivating emotional resilience is a powerful strategy for dealing with adversaries without resorting to physical conflict. By practicing self-awareness, building positive coping strategies, maintaining a positive outlook, and prioritizing self-care, you can develop the inner strength and resilience needed to navigate difficult situations with grace and dignity. Number 4. Practice empathy. Practicing empathy and understanding towards your enemy is an essential step in resolving conflicts and improving relationships. By putting yourself in their shoes and attempting to see things from their perspective, you can gain a deeper understanding of their motivations, concerns, and fears. This newfound insight can help you identify the root cause of the conflict and find ways to address it effectively. Empathy is the ability to understand and share the feelings of others, and it's a critical component of effective communication and conflict resolution. When you practice empathy, you're not only able to understand your enemy's point of view, but also to acknowledge and validate their emotions. This can help to diffuse tension and create a safe space for constructive conversation. To practice empathy and understanding, Start by actively listening to your enemy. Give them your full attention and avoid interrupting or dismissing their concerns. Make eye contact, nod your head, and ask open-ended questions to show that you're genuinely interested in what they have to say. Next, try to imagine yourself in their situation. Put yourself in their shoes and think about how you would feel if you were facing the same challenges and obstacles. Consider their background, beliefs, and values, and how these factors might be influencing their behavior. As you listen and reflect, look for common ground. Are there shared interests or goals that you can build upon? Are there areas where you can find mutual understanding and agreement? By identifying these areas of overlap, you can create a foundation for constructive dialogue and problem-solving. Finally, seek to understand the underlying reasons behind your enemy's behavior. Are they acting out of fear, anger, or frustration? Are they trying to protect themselves or their loved ones? By understanding the root causes of their behavior, you can develop strategies to address these concerns and find a peaceful resolution. Practicing empathy and understanding takes time and effort, but it's a crucial investment in building stronger relationships and resolving conflicts. By putting yourself in your enemy's shoes, you can gain valuable insights into their perspective and find ways to address the root cause of the conflict. This approach can help you transform even the most challenging relationships and create a more positive and productive dynamic. Number 5, understand that your enemy is not your enemy, but your teacher. The ancient Greek philosopher Aristotle once said, "The roots of education are bitter, but the fruit is sweet." In other words, learning often begins with difficulty, but ultimately leads to something beautiful. One of the most difficult teachers we may encounter in life is our enemy. However, rather than viewing them as a malevolent force, we should consider them a potent teacher in the classroom of life. Our enemies challenge our limits, unveil our weaknesses, and spotlight our vices, making them a mirror that reflects the areas where improvement is necessary. As we discussed before, Marcus Aurelius famously said, "The best way to avenge yourself is not to become like the wrongdoer." This profound statement underscores the importance of rising above animosity and cultivating virtues in response to adversity. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Aurelius eloquently stated that we should transform obstacles into opportunities, using challenges as stepping stones toward personal and moral development. Rather than succumbing to anger or resentment, we should embrace the adversities posed by our enemies as a means to build resilience, fortitude, and wisdom. Moreover, Marcus Aurelius encourages self-reflection when faced with the faults of others. He advises us to ask ourselves, what fault of mine most nearly resembles the one I am about to criticize? Number 6. Your suffering isn't caused by your enemy, but by your own judgment. In the quest to dismantle the power of your enemy without resorting to physical confrontation, a crucial insight lies in understanding that your adversary is not the root cause of your suffering. Instead, it is your own judgments and interpretations that hold the power to shape your emotional responses. Your enemy serves as a mirror, reflecting the internal landscape of your mind and emotions, and revealing the areas where your judgments are skewed. Epicurus, the Stoic philosopher, encapsulated this idea in his famous quote, "It is not events that disturb people, it is their judgments concerning them." This fundamental insight challenges the notion that external events have an inherent power to disturb one's peace of mind. Instead, it is the lens through which these events are interpreted that shapes the emotional response. Men are disturbed not by things, but by the views which they take of them. This declaration underscores the Stoic philosophy's emphasis on the internal realm, urging individuals to recognize that their perceptions and interpretations play a pivotal role in determining their emotional states. By understanding that your enemy is not the sole instigator of your turmoil, but rather a catalyst for your own judgments, you gain the power to reshape your reactions and cultivate emotional resilience. Moreover, Epicurus implores individuals to remember that insults and abuses do not inherently affront them. Instead, it is the interpretation and judgment placed upon these actions that lead to feelings of insult. This calls for a profound shift in perspective, from attributing blame to the external world to assuming responsibility for one's own interpretations and emotional responses. Rather than directing blame, complaint, or resentment toward your enemy, undertake the transformative journey of self-examination. Challenge your assumptions, scrutinize your judgments, and endeavor to shift your perspective. Recognize your enemy as a catalyst for profound self-awareness, wisdom, joy, and courage. In this paradigm, your enemy becomes an unwitting guide, leading you towards the path of inner freedom and detachment from circumstances beyond your control. By acknowledging that your judgments hold the key to your emotional state, you empower yourself to break free from the chains of suffering and embrace the profound liberation that comes with a shift in perspective. Number 7. Love your enemies. I know it may sound stupid, but the ultimate strategy for resolving conflicts without resorting to physical violence is to harness the transformative power of love. This approach transcends conventional notions of conflict resolution by encouraging individuals to extend kindness, compassion, and benevolence towards their adversaries. By doing so, they can effectuate a paradigm shift in the relationship, turning enemies into friends and opponents into allies. Loving one's enemy is an alchemical process that has the potential to transmute their hostility into understanding, healing their wounds, and guiding them towards redemption. Simultaneously, this act of love elevates the individual who chooses it, fostering a journey of self-elevation, self-enrichment, and self-enlightenment. Through the genuine expression of love, individuals can create an environment conducive to mending relationships, forming alliances, and cultivating partnerships. In addition, choosing love as a response to animosity affirms one's humanity, divinity, and inherent beauty. It declares that one rises above base instincts and embodies a godlike quality that transcends the realm of conflict. This approach underscores one's role as an integral component of the solution rather than merely being part of the problem. Choosing love isn't just a rejection of hate. It's a powerful affirmation of our shared humanity. It allows us to transcend conflicts and contribute to a more compassionate world. Loving our enemies isn't weakness. It's a courageous stand for peace and understanding. I hope you learned something from today's video. If you did, please don't forget to like and subscribe. And for those who watched till the end, please comment, "I will rise." I will try to reply to every comment.